Hello, everybody. Thank you very much for attending our today's webinar. I hope that you are all well seated so that we can concentrate on India for the next 20 minutes. By the way, if you have any queries or suggestions, please you can type them in the text field of the WebEx mask, and we will come back to you later. My name is Thomas Breitinger, and I'm working for Maier+Vidorno since more than 12 years. I'm based out of Cologne. We are just 8 people here because we only, so to say, work from Europe to India. And in India, I have a bit more than 150 colleagues, and we have offices there in 5 locations. It is mainly below in the snapshot, you can see the management from our 15 years jubileum. And if you have a very close look, you will also find our managing directors, which are both based out of Delhi. When we started with M&V now 18 years back, we didn't have any industry focus, as the services which we are offering they don't much differentiate between the different verticals. So our main business is to set up sales and distribution structures for mainly European companies which want to set up in India. It is mainly our services about importing and trading products, find the right sales managers for our customers, and take care of everything so that they can focus sales. We come to that later a bit. No? Over the years, we had more and more companies coming from the healthcare segment, and some of them you can find here in this reference file. So I start the presentation with a shocker. That's basically a slide which is not so much appreciated normally by my Indian colleagues also, because it clearly shows that there are many people in India, actually hundreds of millions of people, which are poor. And if you then have statistics from the gross domestic product per capita, India ranks amongst the poorest countries in the world. And so outcome would be, oh, India is poor, but it's not. India is clearly not a poor country. We are already talking about more than 80 million people in India, which have a middle class income, like a European middle class income, with $22,000 per year or more. And you have to keep the purchasing power parity in mind, which means that in India you can purchase 4.5 times more for €1 than in Europe. India is already the 5th largest healthcare destination globally, and it is growing by 22% year on year. Public spending is still extremely low, so to say, compared to US, where it's 8.5, or Germany, where it's more than 11. We are here still like a little bit more than 1%. The government wants to change that, and they are investing drastically. The market, the medical device market is also growing. It's also growing very fast. And in 2022, it will reach or cross the $11 billion mark. Like I just mentioned, the healthcare segment as such is very, very important for the government. And there are a lot of government initiatives like this e-health initiatives with this mother and child tracking tools and many, many others. So that is definitely an interesting topic to look in. When we look at the medical devices industry in India, you have these 4 segments, and the instrument and appliances is the largest one with 34%. You can see them in the graphics there. Diagnostics and imaging with 31%, both growing around 15%. And the key driver for that growth is clearly the higher income of the fast-growing upper middle class. Then there's another thing, when we read about India in the media, it's very often stated that it's the country with the biggest and youngest population on earth, which is true, but 8.6% of the Indians are older than 60 years. And 35% of those 350 million people there living in cities, and that means they have a slightly or definitely higher income than the rural population, so they can afford proper treatment, proper health insurances, and so on. So that potential already attracted huge foreign direct investment. In India nowadays, you can find hospitals which are 5-star like. They also, from a service perspective, there are obviously also doctors available in India. They practiced for decades in the US and come back as heart surgery experts and all cancer experts. And then this combined with a 5-star like hospital, that attracts people to come to India for treatment. So this medical tourism is something which is also growing drastically, and especially people from the Emirates and the countries around India are coming for that. So while in Europe we are focusing on data protection, while we are having doctors almost in each and every village, while we have good hospitals close by, India is having innovations in e-health like on daily basis. Yeah? One of the main drivers from the government e-health initiatives is clearly that they aim to outreach to bring healthcare to the most distant corners in India. However, the digital healthcare, which will center on user empowerment and engagement, that intersects perfectly with this accelerating trend of Indians getting online. There are already more than 650 million smartphone users in India, and there is that e-commerce app design is a huge field, and here we see a lot of innovations, a lot of startups. And these innovations basically they help to bridge the gap of let's say the problems with the infrastructure. Yeah? That you if you want to visit a doctor in Bangalore, that you have at least a 3-4 hours traffic jam to reach him. Yeah? It's also skill based. Not each and every doctor has the skills for proper treatment. Then it's geographically there are hundred thousands of smaller cities. Not each of them has the right people to treat people. So we are seeing, for example, more than 50 e-commerce pharmacies as startups in the last years. More than 50, and they are still growing. Same as, like I mentioned, that not each and every doctor is the best expert. So they are also using, for example, a cloud-based service from Trilogic, which is it analyzes the ECG, the electrocardiogram, and you can broadcast it in the system. And elsewhere in India, there's an expert which makes the analysis. And within 20 minutes, the analysis comes back, and so the patient can wait till it's there. The mother and child tracking systems and facilitation centers is also something, and here we have huge government incentives. So having a look at these 4 segments, there is a slightly higher level of local manufacturing in consumables and implants. However, within this segment too, there's still a high dependence on imports. And there is a local manufacturing scaling up fast in Maharashtra, in the west of India, and in Tamil Nadu, around Bangalore. There you can already find local medical technology manufacturing. The same in Mumbai and in Chennai. There are also manufacturers, and here also multinational companies already set up huge research and development centers. Probably also because of the government incentives, but clearly there's a very, very high potential. You find very good skilled engineers in India, and that's the reason why we see this shift to India. However, imports of medical technology is still 75%. It's slightly decreasing, but still there's a huge opportunity for European manufacturers in this segment. I mean, you are all from the industry, so you are aware about product registrations and all that. We are also doing that for our clients, and it's it's a long process of getting them. Now, the latest change in this regard, I hope you are all aware, there has been a change. So in the past, it was possible that multiple distributors were able to hold the import license for the product. So that has changed. And we have a lot of requests from customers to clear the goods from customs because they're stuck there, because something was wrong with the import license. Sometimes, let's say, the importers tried to be a bit flexible with the product registration numbers and customs numbers and so on. So this is something where we have a lot of requests. And before entering India, definitely do your homework first in this regard. If you have questions, we are more than happy to support. So, I mean, whatever strategy you are choosing, it's likely that we can support. That's our service portfolio at a glance. And my job is basically to find the right package out of that services. Our main service is to set up sales and distribution structures. I highlighted that for you. And but we also support in setting up joint ventures or support in acquisitions. However, one thing is crystal clear. What we can clearly see, a direct sales without any salespeople in India will not be successful. Just having one or two distributors, is not the way how to do business in India. Our customers often have 50 up to 100 distributors, and not just some of them, most of them have more than 50, several of them have clearly more than 100. And it's impossible to manage such a network from Europe, obviously. Most of our clients have therefore reached the stage of having own people in India managing those networks. And 40% of our customers, they started doing that by, in a first step, having the people, the sales managers in India on the payroll of our subsidiaries, so that they didn't have to incorporate their own private limited from the first day. That is an example of one of our customers. We have very strict non-disclosure agreements with our customers, so I will not share the name or anything more than what you can see here on this slide. That slide or that case study, I decided to show you because you can see that there are a lot of local customers, and in this regard there are doctors' offices, but our client, he has now almost 50,000 of these doctors' offices, and in average they each one of them, they are just ordering for 240 euros a year, which is, compared to here, it's well, little on the lower side, no? So it means you need a lot of them, and you can imagine how well the amount of work which is behind the process of for order execution, import and order execution. And here this clearly shows our USP and main service. It is to explain you the graphic. I mean, on the left hand side you see a snapshot of a very famous Indian actor, Bollywood actor, Shah Rukh Khan. Actually, also my colleagues here in Germany know him. But that I want to explain with this that they are the stars. They are the sales managers of our customers, and they take care about sales, and Maier+Vidorno is handling the rest completely. That is from the movement of products till the administration and all this is required to run the local setup. And yeah, due to the high amount of bureaucracy, that concept clearly makes sense in India. And our clients just decided to outsource that headache to Maier+Vidorno, so that they can just focus on sales services. And we are doing that for a bit more than 80 clients, and yeah, hope to have some more soon. In case you have any questions, please type it in the box. I already see that there are some questions. We prefer to answer these questions later and would come back to you after the webinar. Yeah? I hope that you liked it. I hope it was informative for you. And yeah, I hope that we will discuss your India plans in near future. Thank you very much. Bye-bye.